Before we start my top 10 destinations in the Philippines, you have to get a quick idea who I am before you decide to follow my path. My name is FinnSnow, American from Iceland, and Philippines was my 20th country I visited. I've on and off traveled the world for the past 5 years, and for the very first time I decided to film my journey through a destination. And Philippines happened to be that country. The most magical country I've ever visited. You might have heard that the people are the most friendly, extremely friendly, so friendly they are willing to invite you to a dinner, fiestas, share their food, drinks, or even host you without ever asking them. You think that's a myth? Well, it's not. It's true. It happened to me multiple times. And the hardest part about it was to reject the invitations or offerings by them because it happens so often. Now you know, and you should be ready to embrace the kindness of the Filipinos with open arms. Now, just before we start the top 10 count, I want you to know I might not be the typical traveler. I like to call myself adventure seeker. I get out of my normal comfort zone to try to travel places most don't go to. With that said, my top 10 might be a bit unusual and perhaps not for everyone. However, you should almost never skip out the most popular tourist destinations. They are the most popular destinations for a reason. And on a final note, Philippines is usually split up into 3 or 4 main areas: the North Luzon, Central Visayas, South Mindanao, and Palawan. That's the flag, and the motto of the country is "It's more fun in the Philippines." And on the 26th of February last year, the newest count of islands was 7,641. About 500 more than the previous count. I backpacked the Central for 3 months and a couple of days in Palawan and Mindanao. During that time, I went to 36 islands. So by no means this is a top 10 of best places to go to, but a top 10 personal experience that I encountered during my stay. Let me warn you, in the Philippines you might love it so much that you get homesick after you leave. Well, that's what happened to me the first time. The second time I wasn't expecting it to happen, but still I got the homesick feeling. I loved it so much there that I even plan on relocating by the end of this year, November to be exact, and explore the rest of the country. So if you want to follow my journey, hit that subscribe button, and without further ado, let's start the countdown. At the bottom of the list is Mobile, or the town I stayed at to visit the famous Cavasan waterfalls. That's where I would recommend to getting a place for the night. The tiny town offers some of the best backpacking laid-back vibes, with a bunch of hippie feeling bars and decent looking beach. The best part about Mobile is the snorkeling. You can also do scuba diving. There you'll find amazing looking coral reefs with all kinds of colorful fishes, starfishes, and weird looking ones I don't even know how to describe. What surprised me the most was the sardines. I arrived without knowing what to expect, and little did I know I was swimming inside of a tornado of sardines. Something I'll never forget. About 20 minutes away from the town is the magical Cavasan waterfalls. A waterfall bluer than the blue sky. Swing a rope, do some jumping, or join the canoeing tour. This is a day you'll remember. Oh, and on the way out, grab a honey. Number 9. Coron. This one might come as a surprise sitting at number 9, since it's valued in a lot of cases the number 1 attraction in the Philippines, but I have my reasons. Don't get me wrong, it's magical, truly is. When you get to the island, start by hiking up Mount Tapayas for a breathtaking view over the nearby islands, or a random hilltop, only to run back down due to incoming thunderstorm. In the province, hike with the locals, only to be embraced by the happiness of the Filipino children playing in the rain. Get a scooter, ride along the south coastline, meet a local farming family, and enjoy some of their crops. I can still feel the taste of that pineapple. And what should be your highlight is the island hopping tour. This is the gem of Coron, towering limestone cliffs and lakes that will blow your mind. Do some snorkeling and even see a Japanese shipwreck. Oh, and a lot of orange life jackets and zero privacy. But like any other most popular attraction, you should not let that stop you from discovering this place. It is epic. Kangalaman. I can never pronounce this one right. Number 8. Out of the 36 islands I visited, most of them had some sort of a sandbar. Sandbar is basically a length or stretch of sand out of a beach. Most islands don't have it, but when they do, it gives them a little bit of extra flavor. Kangalaman had the longest and most epic sandbar I discovered. Probably stretched close to a mile long, or maybe half a mile. I don't know. It just felt like that walking due to the heat. This was officially the hottest day I spent in the Philippines, with a scorching 44 degrees Celsius. The water is crystal clear, some of the clearest water I saw in the Philippines. Met some awesome local dudes and they played a song. That was awesome. And a local Cebuanos. I was there only for a day trip, but I highly recommend staying there overnight. Just imagine waking up for the sunrise and sleeping under the sunset. This island is becoming more and more popular, with only allowing 500 people a day to arrive. So get a boat early, go there, book your tent, stay overnight, and enjoy the sunset and sunrise. Number 7. Commodious. Close to Cebu Island, there are 2 islands close to each other, connected with a bridge. Each island offers its uniqueness. I recommend staying at the Santiago Bay area. There, I went all out Filipino style. Got a room without running water, where I had to actually pour my own water into a large bucket and carry it over into my bathroom. It was a fun experience. Santiago Beach is where my feet melted, literally melted in the softest sand I stepped on during my stay. A sand that felt like a mix of soft clay and a sand scrub. Rent a motorbike and explore Lake Danao. Right back home to catch the sunset in time. However, this time I experienced something few people do during their lifetime. And that is the natural phenomena nicknamed rainbow clouds. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. On the East Island, there's a place called The Rock. Mingle with the locals and face your fears. But don't worry, you can work your way up to the highest jumping point. The Filipino jumping is crazy. Yeah, that's a 5-year-old doing a 40 feet front flip. And to end it off, there's a tons of caves in this country, but this one felt special in Commodious, Bukilay Cave. At number 6, we have the volcanic island Camiguin. The only reason I went to this one was because of you guys. One of the most requested sites for me to visit. Like anywhere, rent a bike and start exploring. Find a hot and cold spring, meet the locals for a barbecue and drinks. That's beer and rum, delicious. Attend a water fight with the kids and grandpa. Oh, and watch your drone. Stumble upon a nice waterfall and embrace the kindness of the Filipinos. Fiesta time. I was so lucky to arrive exactly at the weekend of a Christian fiesta. There I had the privilege to experience their famous fiesta culture. Bamboo fighting, silly games between the police and the locals, and a beauty competition. And don't forget to visit the White Island, a sandbar that changes its shape throughout each season. Halfway through the list, we're at number 5, El Nido. A very similar place to Coron, except my time there was much more enjoyable. Rent a hut and stay one night on the east side of El Nido. Wake up with a breathtaking sunrise and enjoy your coffee and your bungalow looking over the valley. The day after, move over to the west side and you'll enter the town of El Nido. This place is definitely overgrown its infrastructure, much like Boracay. From here you should visit the beautiful Nakpan beach. Don't worry about space, there's plenty of space. Wake up early to catch the sunrise over the hard and dangerous hike of Taruf Cliff. This one was tough, but the view is one of the most astonishing I've ever seen. In El Nido, you'll also be more likely to make new friends with fellow backpackers, and make sure to join an overnight camping trip instead of a day trip. That way, you'll get to know each other better and have an unforgettable time. Classic Filipino dancing. This kind of overnight camping trip will probably be your most enjoyable time during your stay in the Philippines. Explore the magnificent limestone cliffs and lakes, and my favorite part about it was catching the sunset over the 7 Commando Islands. This was by far the most beautiful sunset I witnessed during my time. Words cannot describe how it was, and the insane bright vibrant colors. This was a truly unforgettable camping trip. Number 4. Bantayan, Malapascua. I have those 2 islands in the same place because they're quite close to each other, and you should definitely visit both of them. They're only 3 hours boat ride between each other. By now you should see my pattern of visiting each destination. Upon reaching the island, you'll be greeted with nearly kawasan blue water. Rent a bike and start exploring because Bantayan has everything you want for a tropical island. Don't be afraid to say hi to the locals and perhaps have a drink or two with them. or become a kid again and jump off the cliffside. Recommend staying at the town called Santa Fe. That's the main beach area. This island is full of life, the people are smiling and happy. And at the end of a long day, visit the freshwater cave to rinse off that salt water. After Bantayan, head over to Malapascua. The island is famous for the thresher shark, a long-tailed shark, the eye candy for the scuba divers. Unfortunately, I only saw one for a couple of seconds, but it was magnificent. The island has a decent beach, but I would only go there for the scuba diving. And the bronze goes to Sandbar Island. This small island ranks as my personal most beautiful one. White sand, crystal clear water, and a small hilltop for breathtaking views. Just imagine having the whole island to yourself, sitting down on the top of the hill with the breeze of wind in your face and the sound of the high grass in the background. To get there, you have to start by traveling to the island of Bilaran, and from there grab a boat to this hidden gem. And it's probably a hidden gem for a reason, and that is, it's not so easy to get to, so make sure you do your research before deciding to explore it. Upon arriving, like in most nature reserve sites, you pay a small environmental fee. Great. Set up your campsite or rent a hut. I basically slept on the sand inside a tent without mattress or pillow. Well, I tried. Climb up to the old lighthouse and catch the sunset. I also had a minor issue that night. A major thunderstorm surrounded the area with lightning striking down literally at every second for hours. So I basically had no sleep that night. Crazy but fun experience. Number 2. The Gigantes Islands. Like previously, it's extremely hard to get to this one. You'll have to take at least 3 buses and possible few tricycles. And also I had to travel between 3 towns just to find the ATM that worked before I jumped onto the boat. That's right, there are no ATMs on the islands and there's only 1 boat a day. But you can always find a fisherman to take you there for a little bit extra cost. Don't expect any phone connection and definitely no internet with very limited electricity. We only had about 4 hours of electricity a day. These things you might take as something negative for your travels, but for me it turned out to be a positive one, because there you were completely disconnected from the real world. Without the electricity and the phone connection, it might have not been as magical as it was without what the island had to offer. This might have been the best 5 days of my life. Upon arriving on the main beach of the South Island, you'll be walking through a classic island neighborhood, people smiling all around and calling you "Hey Joe." That's what they call foreigners. After finding a place at a local family, head over to the beach for the sunset and say hi to the kids. Coming from the Western world, this melted my heart. It also put my view on this world into perspective. Truly touched me. After having a reality check with the locals, find a fisherman to take you to the nearby islands. Discover luxury private islands like this one, Antonio Beach, coconut trees, soft white sand, and a unique shaped rock formations. You can also get a lunch from the locals for 10 times cheaper and fresher than you'll get inland. Even a giant clam which costs fortune in the Western world. But there, they gave me a taste for free. Continue your island hopping and discover a secret lagoon. Back on the main island, there's more. A giant cave. The story says there was a giant who slept inside of this cave, and that's where the name for the island comes from. And to top it off, go for a hike in the blazing hot sun to catch a view over the area, see the kids play with the spiders or play their local pool game. Head over to the North Island and bring smiles to the faces of the children. Even though you don't need to, the people of the Philippines are the happiest I've ever seen. The Gigantes Islands will always be a big place in my heart, because it felt like I literally lived out the quote, "Don't take things for granted in life." And the gold goes to Siargao, the number 1 place I enjoyed the most. The island has the best of the best that the Philippines has to offer, and we will get to that in a second. There are two ways to get to the island. One is by airplane or by ferry from the Surigao city. I was on an island mission, so my only option was to get a boat from a local fisherman to take me over the calm waters to reach Surigao city, a true adventure. From there you take the ferry over to Siargao, grab a tricycle and make your camp at the General Luna. That is the main area. All the bars are outdoors, so partying there gives you this tropical vibes to it. Most of the hotels and hostels are also here, and where the famous Cloud9 surfing spot is. I had my very first surfing lesson here. First try, nailed it. But I had a little bit advantage coming from Iceland, with a snowboarding background. Always rent a bike and wander through the beautiful beaches and coconut tropical forests. Explore some of the hidden gems of Siargao like the rock pool. Jump with the locals. Get freaked out by creepy animals that you've never seen before. Incredible place. Find a cave pool, swing the rope, climb up for a little bit of extra adrenaline. Siargao is a big island and has so much to offer, so definitely spend a few days here. Another activity I highly recommend is the island hopping tour, a 3-stop tour, the Naked Island. Small, beautiful one. Second one, Daco Island, a much bigger one with a high sand area. Grab a coconut and have your lunch over here. I wouldn't mind to be stranded here for a few days. And the last one I think was called Guam, a tiny one. By this time you're probably tired of hearing me saying how beautiful these islands are, but this one is exotic, I would say. Wander around the trees and crack a joke with the locals. She loves me, she doesn't love me.
Loves.
And have them teach you how to swing like a Filipino, or see them do it like a pro. Crazy. Make sure to spend a little bit of extra time on this island to catch the sunset. Just look at that. Spend another full day and head over to the town called Del Carmen. This town is famous for its mangroves. It has one of the, if not the biggest mangroves in the Philippines. Grab a boat and ride through them to reach the Sukba Lagoon. An awesome place to spend a few hours jumping, swimming, paddleboarding, drinking, eating, whatever fits you. A must-visit place if you go to Siargao. I can't say good enough things about this island. At this moment it's not overrun by tourism like in El Nido or Boracay. So if you want to chase that tropical island vibe before that happens, then this is the place to go to. So there you have it. My top 10 experience or the places in the Philippines, whatever you want to call it. Few worthy mentions to end it off with is the famous Boracay Island, the party place of the country, Bohol and Limasab Islands. Clips from those places are on my channel. So if you like this video and want to see more in the future, make sure to smash that subscribe button and I'll see you again soon in the Philippines.